The two-game skid never reached 3 thanks to a big effort last night in Vancouver. Manny Legacy provided great goaltending, especially early on when the Wings were badly outshot. Nicholas Lidstrom led an understaffed blue line with another heavy workload in the game-winning goal. The line of Sergei Fedorov, Brendan Shanahan, and the industrious Thomas Holmstrom ignited the Wings' attack, combining for 7 points and 3 of 5 goals. Tonight, though, beware, Sutter's Flames should be mean and ugly, looking for revenge against the Red Wings next. Curtis Joseph goes in goal for the Wings tonight, and after allowing 4 goals each of his past 2 starts, perhaps meeting a Flames club, he's beaten 3 times and blanked twice. Could be just the tonic. And at the other end, Roman Turek, shaky at best against Phoenix here 2 nights ago, was pulled early. He has to get his game in gear if the Flames have any hopes of making this season even partly respectable. The Wings have pulled into 2nd place in the West and look to sweep the Flames in their season series, having outscored Calgary 13-2. Hello again, everyone. Ken Daniels alongside Pat Verbeek. While Chris Chelios turns 41 years old today, happy birthday, Chris. Not in the lineup again tonight, but boy, last night it took more than just one guy to replace him, as the Red Wings proved.
Well, they had a great defensive effort from the whole core. Guys like Boileau, Dandino, they battled through injuries. Max Kuznetsov went out early, and everybody's ice time was increased. And so what that happens, there's a huge strain. You know, you look like a guy at Bickoff. He had a great defensive effort against Bertuzzi all night. And now you look at Lidstrom, he was his usual self, and he scored the game winner, as he always does, against the Canucks.
Daryl Sutter told us this morning he wasn't sure which was worse the other night, the puck he took to the face or the 7-1 beating his club took at the hands of Phoenix.
Well, he ended up saying the 7-1 win was worse, but what happened after the game was they had a team meeting, and they were very upset with their effort. And one of the things they felt was they quit on themselves, and so what they ended up doing was punishing themselves with a mandatory bike ride after the game. So what you're going to look for tonight from these leaders and from the rest of the Calgary Flames is a snarly effort, and one of Detroit is going to have their hands full tonight.
Well, it was in this building back on November 13th, 1986, that Brett Hull scored his first National Hockey League goal as a member of the Calgary Flames. It was the first of 699. Will 700 come in the same building against the team that first signed him? We'll find out next. Detroit Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by McDonald's. Come into McDonald's today for the beefy, big, and tasty sandwich, only $1 every day. By Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. By your Chrysler and Jeep Superstores. And by Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time.
Spectacular Calgary. Welcome back to the Saddle Dome. I'm John Keating. The Wings looking for their 2nd win in a row. The first time they will have won 2 in a row in a month. And the win last night over Vancouver bumped them up to 2nd overall in the Western Conference. They'll go up against a Calgary Flames team that is right now last in the West. But the Wings greatly encouraged by the effort last night. Nick Lidstrom, he's going to be a constant. But they played without Chris Chelios. And it's been the kids on the Red Wings blue line who have really stepped forward.
I think looking at Jason Woolley to start with, I thought he really, coming from Buffalo, maybe being the 7th defenseman there and coming here and really stepping in and playing strong for us. He's got a good first pass. He's good read to jump up in the play, and he's been scoring some big goals for us. And Bikoff and Boyle has been giving us a spark back there. Playing with Bikoff has been a good adjustment for me. He plays the right side and being left-handed, so it's kind of tough to play that side, but he's been excellent at it. And Boyle coming in, scoring his first NHL goal last night and really being happy and playing solid, and that's what we need from him, and that's what he did.
Well, those guys on the Red Wings blue line certainly helped by the play of Curtis Joseph in 2 of the previous 3 meetings against Calgary. Cujo with 2 shutouts. His first 2 shutouts as a Red Wing in the first 2 games against the Flames. The Wings have outscored Calgary 13-2 so far, and tonight's game will wrap up the season series. We don't think they'll see each other in the playoffs. Let's go back upstairs. Ken Daniels and Pat Verbeek take it over.
Thank you very much, John Keating. Our director tonight is Jim Marshall. Our producer, Gord Cutler, the pregame show produced tonight from Calgary by Rob Aller. The Red Wings stopped their two-game skid last night, 5-2. Calgary's three-game unbeaten streak shattered in their loss to Phoenix a couple of nights back, 7-1. Curtis Joseph goes in goal. Lifetime versus the Flames, 23-7-3, including 3-0 this season, 2 by shutout. And for the Calgary Flames, it's Roman Turek, who won a cup with Dallas as a teammate of Brett Hull and Pat Verbeek in '99, but Roman is yet to find his game. Thursday, he whiffed on 2 of the first 5 shots he faced, was pulled, then went back in. There's Don Koharski, who along with Mick Magoo, they're the referees tonight, the linesman Randy Mitten and Thor Nelson. And we are underway from Calgary, and glad you're along with us here on Fox Sports Net on a Saturday night. Sent in by the former Flames captain Dave Lowry, who was down in the minors and has done a nice job since being called up when he thought perhaps he'd no longer make it back here to Calgary. Bob Bougner, a former Red Wing draft pick, 32nd overall in '89. Swings one back behind his own goal. Holmstrom starting up front along with Sergei Fedorov and Brendan Shanahan. Holmstrom back to pick up that puck, scored a nice goal, roofing one last night against Dan Cloutier. A little bit of revenge after missing a few nights earlier on a penalty shot on Cloutier. And that'll be offside as Holmstrom had it inside the Calgary line. And a battered and bruised Daryl Sutter, Pat Verbeek.
Daryl Sutter, when your offense is worst in the league, you need great goaltending. Not good goaltending, but great goaltending. And that's what he wants out of Roman Turek tonight.
Daryl Sutter, you can see that left eye, and when he played, he had a mesh put in there because he got hit up in the face by a puck. And the other night here in that 7-1 loss to Phoenix, he was hit by a puck that was tipped up into the bench, left the game for repairs, came back and went for a CAT scan yesterday, leaving practice early. Hall out there in search of 700 with Datsuk and Zetterberg. In for Hall, it was knocked away before it came to him. Hall at the line, held it in, it's knocked down out front, and the Flames move it to center ice. Left wing feed for Rob Niedermayer. Drop back, Stefan Yell, the former Avalanche, had that shot blocked by Jason Woolley. Woolley turned back by Yell. Taken in behind by Clark, out front of the goal. Joseph stopped it. Knocked out of the air with a high stick. Just at crossbar height. Knocked down at the line by Brett Hull and carried out Bickoff. Joseph coming out of the goal. Max Kuznetsov in tonight, albeit with a hyperextended elbow. Stolen there by the Flames. That shot knocked down. Drury again out front, and a good stop off the stick of Martin Jelena, the former Carolina Hurricane, who came over as an unrestricted free agent last July. Max Kuznetsov, and the Red Wings needed him in there tonight. He was gone in the first period last night and didn't return as the Red Wings went with 5 defensemen. The shot by Draper deflected wide of the goal. Robin Regeer slapped it back into the corner for Calgary. Stepping up on there was Boileau, as Pat mentioned in the open. Boileau getting his first National Hockey League goal. Kuznetsov's shot stopped by Turek, who's already having a better night than he did in the 7-1 loss the other night.
Well, Dave Lewis was giving me a little bit of the business today. Last night I was giving him the business and how we beat him in the 2-pass game, and today he said, you better make sure you mention that we won today. And I was, you know, and now I'm congratulating him on they took it to us. They won both games today.
That's the little game they have after practice with those who are out of the lineup, and Pat Verbeek guest stars in there. Steve Yzerman was on Pat's team today. Steve left early today back to Detroit, and that was pretty smart on his part, not having to arrive at 5:30 in the morning with the rest of us. Joseph, who had that shot earlier go off the crossbar in behind him, got a break there. Fedorov plays one back for Robitaille, return feed for Fedorov. Chris Chelios also made his way back to Detroit, not in the lineup today on his 41st birthday, so happy birthday, Chris Chelios.
41.
41, yep. Not that he plays like it, but may have to shut down and rest that leg for a little bit.
Yeah, that's one of the, Detroit needs a healthy Chris Chelios.
For sure. And it's been a team effort they showed last night. They'll need more of that tonight without him. Kuznetsov with Boileau. Boileau is hit hard down there by Blake Sloan, number 24. Sloan from the University of Michigan was never drafted. He played defense back at U of M. In comes McCarty, right side with Draper. Tried the pass, but it was blocked, and the Flames come back. Carried to center by Scott Nickel, number 40. Knocked down was Blake Sloan. Turning Kuznetsov got hit by Steve Bejan. This is a banging line for Calgary. Sloan over there to get it. Pinching down low, Peter Buzak. And it'll roll back into the Flame zone and back to touch Mickey Dupont, the Calgary native, and it'll be icing against Detroit in time for our Pepsi game plan, Pat.
Well, last night, Red Wings were up 2-0. Game ended up being tied. They showed great determination and resolve by coming back and found a way to win. Now, tonight, they got the wingers high. They're going to look for good, quick outlet passes. Tonight, Calgary, no turnovers. It means you can't turn the puck over at the blue line. You got to make good dumps. And no bad penalties. They got a young team, very experienced, and they take a lot of retaliation penalties because of being young and energetic, and they need to learn how to not take those.
Fired in, Datsuk off the backboards. Datsuk front of the goal. It was knocked away. Yell's on it. Stefan Yell up along with Niedermeyer and Clark. Chris Clark, number 17. And we'll get a stop and play in the face-off for icing. We'll come back into the Calgary zone, and Brett Hull, as we mentioned, November 13th, 86 against Hartford in this very building. Scored his first National Hockey League goal, got number 699 in Edmonton, Alberta. So maybe why not cap it with 700 and many more to come after that. And there you see 27 goals in 57 games with the Calgary Flames before he was moved on in the Rob Ramage deal. And Ramage and company got a Stanley Cup here in Calgary, and Brett went on to own 40 St. Louis Blues records and light the lamp for a number of years with St. Louis.
Is that all, 42?
Blues records?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that all?
That's all. That amazing?
Yes.
Some may have gone by the wayside lately. Devereaux back in the lineup tonight. Holmstrom picking it up at center. Back for Dandenault. Across the center ice stripe, and in it goes. Turek left it behind the goal. Holmstrom up on the forecheck. Gelinas had it go off his leg. Carried out to center by Matthias Johansson. Back for Gelinas with Drury. Shot over top of Joseph. Johansson over there. Shanahan checked him. Knocked out of the air by a high stick, but Calgary takes. Drury to Gelinas. Too well covered, and Sergei Fedorov's away. Bothered by a couple of sore hands, he says. Fedorov in there. He scored last night for the first in 9 to break an 8-game goalless slump, his longest of the season. Centered for Fedorov, went off the back of the net and back to center ice.
Detroit's playing a very physical game on defense. They've had already a couple of real good hits.
Conroy. Craig Conroy over to get it. 13 points his past 11 games for Craig Conroy. He's got it at center, and the Flames captain shoots it in. Joseph. He'll stuff it along the near boards for McCarty. Had trouble picking it up cleanly. The hard-hitting Dennis Gauthier, number 3, played one back for Jerome Iginla, who's out there along with Conroy and Lowry. So Lowry goes from the minors to playing with Iginla and Conroy. Good break. Back with the Flames again. It goes over Lowry's stick. He gets the return feed, but there's the ever-present stick of Nicholas Lidstrom to knock it away.
Yeah, Lowry right to the penthouse.
Yeah.
Nothing like coming from the minors right to the penthouse.
There's a lot of discussion when he lost his captaincy here over a year ago. Well liked. Flipped in by Maltby. Turek stops it behind the goal for Peter Buzek, the one-time Dallas Star property. Spent a couple of years with Atlanta. Took a weird bounce off the end boards. At center, Datsuk. Couldn't find the handle on it. Bejan played it back into his own zone. Dandenault knocks that down at center. Tried the return feed for Hall. Datsuk carries in. Datsuk to the middle. Datsuk for Hall, right side. Firing on Turek. His former teammate stopped that bid for Brett Hull. 700. We'll be back.
Brett Hall's bid for 700 coming right here. A lot of times he likes to go top shelf, but he hits him in the crest.
Right-hand shot right side. What do you think?
5-hole. But he just got it up a little high.
Niedermeyer in, firing, scores! Right through the legs! Calgary has a 1-0 lead. 6:47 into the game.
Niedermeyer's going to let a blast go from the top of the circle. Turnover by Stefan Yell. Right through the legs of Curtis Joseph. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back. Good things happen when you get the puck to the net.
So on the Flames' third shot, they get themselves a goal and lead it 1-0. And what does that do, Pat Verbeek, for a team that got throttled 7-1 in this building by Phoenix the other night? And you mentioned in the opening how disgusted they were. What does that do to confidence?
Well, it gives them great confidence. But the other thing, when you're playing the Stanley Cup champions, you know you don't have to do much to get up for the game. And that's, you know, they were excited to play this game. And what a way to be able to bounce back against the Red Wings.
Here we go at center ice, Bougner and Shanahan. Two tough customers. And we haven't seen Shanahan fight a lot lately. He's into it now with Bougner. And Shanahan telling, stay away. Telling Randy Mitten, stay away. This is maybe just what Brendan Shanahan needed to get him fired up. And the team fired up.
Shanahan told him to stay away. He said, I haven't had enough yet, and I'm going to give him the decision. He wore Bougner down and got some good shots in at the end.
Here's how it started.
Well, I don't think Shanahan liked the stick coming up between his legs. And that was it. And that got him going. Bougner got a good jump. But Shanahan battled through the whole scrap.
And come the March 11th trade deadline, Bob Bougner will be talked about for a lot of teams around the league. Now you see him tell Randy Mitten, stay away. No, don't come in yet, Randy, nor you, Thor.
I'm not tired yet.
Yep.
And Bougner looked like he was getting tired and was hanging in tight, close, so that Shanahan couldn't hit him with any.
You always have that ice ready in the box. So Brendan Shanahan gets into it. 5 apiece for fighting. Stolen Holmstrom. Oh, and Avery nearly had the tip. Holmstrom into the middle for Devereaux. Holmstrom in a great game last night in Vancouver got pounded. He got hit hard into the end boards by Conroy, the captain. And we've got a face-off, and here we could be going again. Jarome Iginla and Avery. And Iginla, remember, a year ago, got into a fight. Got into a fight with Bill Guerin, went again earlier this year, and something, Iginla, who will go. He's a goal scorer, hasn't produced this year. Last year led the league in goals and points. But he won't mind fighting, Pat, and some think when he got into it early this year, it hurt him.
Well, he re-injured his hand that he had a couple years ago. And what happens now, he's been battling injuries all year and hasn't been able to get on track. He got a decent start at the start of the year, but now as you get in, you hurt your hand, you have to sit out a little bit, try to get healthy, and it hurt his continued good play, and you can't have that. You got to really, a guy like him that scores a lot of goals, is kind of try to stay away. You got to play physical, but try to stay away.
He's fought through wrist, hand, and groin injuries. Here's how it started. Sean Avery and Jarome Iginla. Sticks came up. Iginla's willing to drop him with anybody, as is Avery. This time, Thor Nelson and Randy Mitten got in quickly. So, boy, Saturday night fights here in Calgary on Fox Sports Net.
No question. Calgary's shown a lot of emotion, and Detroit is as well.
Here comes Niedermeyer, who has the first goal at 6:47 from Stefan Yell, who's got the puck now. And a good stop by Joseph. Avery and Iginla each get 2 for roughing at 7:47. To the line, DuPont couldn't hold that puck in. Niedermeyer at center. He'll send one back into his own zone. Flames regrouping. Gauthier. That's offside, and Gauthier's pass was behind Chris Drury, number 37 of Calgary. And when you play for that guy, Daryl Sutter, who ironically didn't want to be shown on camera this morning in the pregame when reporters were looking at him, but we have no choice but to show him now. What effect does he have? Craig Button said enormous effect when he joined us live in the pregame. What are your thoughts, Pat, about Daryl Sutter?
Well, a lot of times when he was an aggressive player, a very gritty player, and he's the type that has the personality that rubs off on players, and it builds throughout the game and throughout the year.
Back to the line. Shot in front of the goal, and Danino's there to take it away. Maltby moving in with Draper to the goal, and just out of his reach, Danino fed it in behind the net. And 32, Tony Lidman in there. Draper got there. Lidman hits Draper. Gelinas digging for the puck. Maltby nearly stole it. And Danino regroups at center. Woolley plays it back. Red Wings complete a change. Datsuk with Fedorov. Pavel, Datsuk for Woolley. Lost control. Knocked out of the air. Woolley back to get it for Dmitry Bykov, who had himself a terrific game last night. Coaching staff spoke very highly of the play Dmitry Bykov had last night, as did Pat Verbeek during our game from Vancouver here on Fox Sports Net. Lidstrom up across the line at the game winner last night. To Bykov, his shot. High and off the glass. Tough one to handle at the line for Lidstrom. Datsuk got back and gave it to Bykov. Lead feed ahead. Datsuk forced wide by Mickey Dupont to the line. Lidstrom held it in. There's a shot knocked down before it got to the goal. Dupont's on it. Mickey Dupont, the defender, just 5'10". Conroy back. Datsuk on Craig Conroy. Datsuk to the goal, in for Holmstrom, backhand shot, big stop, Turk, rebound, into Turk's pads, still loose, walking away, and Turk grabs it. First Rob Holmstrom, then Sergei Fedorov in a bid for his 21st of the season. Past the halfway point of the first, still 1-0 Calgary. Just what we mentioned, they needed a big game from number 1.
Yeah, he made 2 great saves, first on Thomas Holmstrom and then Sergei Fedorov with the next rebound, and they couldn't quite get it up over a sprawled Roman Turek.
At the line, kicked out to center. Calgary rested, having not played last night as the Red Wings did, but the Flames are just 1-7, playing a team that played the night before. Joseph couldn't clear around. Stefan Yell met by Danino, pair of 11s in behind the goal. Niedermeyer is bumped by Zetterberg. Out there along with Devereaux and Hall. Devereaux couldn't clear. Niedermeyer knocked down by Danino again. Devereaux went right back into traffic. And with that, it's poked deep to Niedermeyer. In for Yell, taken away. Hall overskated, but regained control. Brett Hall ahead for Zetterberg, missed him. This will be icing. And the face-off will come back into Red Wing territory. Well, college hockey at the Joe tickets are on sale now, including the annual battle between Michigan and Michigan State on Saturday, March the 1st. Get your tickets at the Joe Louis Arena box office or by calling 313-396-7575. Michigan and Michigan State, March 1st. Flames are 7-2 their last 9 versus Detroit in this building. They have a 1-0 lead here tonight. The Red Wings have won the previous 3 meetings between these two clubs, including blanking the Flames in here. And at the Joe, and also winning 4-2. 4-0, 5-0, 4-2. Red Wing wins this season.
Calgary's playing with a lot of emotion. It's going to be a tough battle for Detroit.
Red Wings have 1 more game to go on this 4-game trip. Tuesday night, a game we'll have for you here on Fox Sports Net from New Jersey before returning home next Thursday to meet Florida. Knocked down at center. Draper will shoot it in. Turek to stop it, to leave it for Lidman. His pass went astray. Will be icing. He's the 1-goal man in the NHL. Patrick Boileau is back to get it.
One of the things Detroit's going to have to keep an eye on tonight is short shifts. The air is a little thinner here than in most rinks. Colorado's the highest, and this is probably 2nd highest in the league. So guys have to keep their shifts short, especially after playing last night.
Altitude comes into play and can be even tougher in second periods when your defense has that little bit longer to go on that change. Fired high and off the glass. Boileau scampers back on defense with Max Kuznetsov, and just determined when he skated this morning, Big Max, that he could go tonight. Hit the linesman Thor Nelson. Gelinas was bumped on the way in. Lidman holds it in at the Red Wing line. Boileau tying up Johansson. Chris Drury had it knocked away from him. to the line to Lidman. Shot knocked down, taken away, and Maltby moved it to McCarty. He'll slip one into Calgary territory. Draper hustling in on Lidman's tail. Draper couldn't find it. McCarty helped him. He's over there to pick it up. Maltby to the front of the goal. Turk to stop. And the rebound is covered. Well, not only did Patrick Boileau score his first goal in the NHL last night in Vancouver, he'll be more proud of this. To go back one night, he's our standard Federal check of the game on Trevor Letowski, and just for good measure, he checked in with his first goal, and he's pretty pumped of his NHL career. So congratulations on two fronts to Patrick Boileau from last night in Vancouver.
Yeah, that's excellent. I mean, that's an exciting time for your first NHL goal.
Off the draw comes to Woolley. Tried to step around Hull, played it back that way. Datsuk read it and got it. He'll set up. Datsuk firing. Oh, and Hull nearly tipped that one. It rolls through, and Turek was able to make the stop.
I think Gauthier got away with one. Cross-checking Hull. Right as the shot came, and there it is. I mean, that's an interference play. I mean, he's giving him the business right there. That's a dangerous play. Ruchin, last year Ruchin took a slap shot in the face on a very play just like that. Ended up breaking his cheekbone and his eye orbit.
There's our friend Harvey the Hound, who got into it with Craig McTavish the other night. Harvey nearly got hurt. They have a broken glass here, so they're fixing it. Craig Button spoke with us. There's the seamless glass. You see how it's held in. It's not like that at Joe Louis Arena, where it's acrylic stanchions hold it in. Craig Button told us starting tomorrow, they're going to have a new spring system in the boards here. That won't help with the glass. It's not acrylic. This stuff is unbelievably hard, and the players will tell you it's the worst glass in the National Hockey League. You hit this stuff, it's like hitting a cement wall. And Craig Button told us in the pregame tonight they're looking at changing that. But starting tomorrow, it'll be a new spring system in the boards, at least to give it some life, so when you hit it, there's some bounce to it, some give to it. And that'll help save players' careers, don't you think?
Well, I got to tell you, from firsthand experience, it's tremendously hard, and I mean, that's going to help with the spring system.
Stopped by Turek off the draw as Woolley's shot got through. And the Flames clear it to center ice. Woolley knocked ahead. Datsuk on his man, Stefan Yell ahead for Hull. Back for Pavel Datsuk. Great move at the line. Datsuk with Zetterberg to Hull. The shot, the save by Turek. And the rebound cleared by Yell. Great play, though, at center by Pavel Datsuk to make something out of nothing.
Great hands. With the agility in the hands he had, it. Great move.
You're in awe of that, aren't you?
Oh, man.
Something to see. Hull with the pass. Zetterberg tips it. Red Wings. That's a sign to make a wholesale change. Lidman back to get it. Just over 6 to go in the first period. A giveaway inside the line. Holmstrom fires. Turek stopped it. Oh, did he look off balance? Into the middle of Lowry. Lead pass Conroy with Iginla. There's Lidstrom again to break it up. Just when you think you have about a foot of space, it's closed off. Joseph juggled that, pumped it along to Holmstrom, backhanded it into Calgary territory, and no icing. Bob Bougner. After that set to with Shanahan.
Calgary's being very aggressive at Detroit's blue line by pinching their defense in, and it's going to make it difficult for Detroit wingers tonight to get the pucks out. So you're going to see a lot of that little chipping going on.
Cleared to center, back by Draper. Boileau over to pick it up. Patrick Boileau's pass was knocked down. McCarty bumped his man. Fired in by Bejan. So two grinding lines out there now with Avery, with Maltby and McCarty. Point shot stopped by Joseph. He'll grab that and he'll hang on. And again, what will come of this?
Everybody's got their hard hats on tonight.
We'll be back. Four, 3, 2, 1, the only daily show taking you inside the world of extreme sports, premiering Monday at 5 here on Fox Sports Net. Off the draw. Datsuk got it ahead to Devereaux. Devereaux up across the line. Hit by Bougner. Datsuk, Zetterberg, and Devereaux. Datsuk's got it. Johansson watching him, as is Drury. Puck knocked down into the middle, gloved ahead, and moved up for Martin Jelena. Jelena, who missed last game, the sore hand, back in the lineup tonight. Flip to center ice. Zetterberg gathers it in. Zetterberg couldn't finish. Robin Regeer has made an amazing comeback in his career after a couple of broken legs. Junior hockey in an auto accident. Boileau's long shot is knocked down. Chris Clark, who's trying to break out of his prolonged slump. 11 games without a goal. Number 17 for the Flames. Fedorov up with Robitaille and Shanahan. In the middle, kicked away before it could get to Robitaille. Pumped ahead by Stefan Yell, who came over in the deal along with Chris Drury. For Derek Morris, Jeff Shantz, and Dean McCammon, who went Colorado's way. As the play is stopped offside at the Red Wing blue line. So we'll get a face-off coming up. And Luc Robitaille not getting a lot of ice time, but in spurts, and had a couple of opportunities from Vancouver. Hasn't scored. 18 games now.
He's the type of guy that doesn't need a lot of opportunities to score, so he's just got to keep plugging away.
Out for his fourth shift of this game with 3.5 to go in the period. Oh, given up by Joseph. The shot. He recovered on Iginla. He didn't get that where he wanted. Lowry took it from him, and Joseph had to make a good save on Jerome Iginla. Last year, Iginla had 52 goals in the season, and nowhere near those totals this year for Iginla, with 14 and just 35 points, and he led the league last year in points too. Last year, a play like that, it would have gone in for him.
No question about that. A little miscommunication. I think sometimes what happens is you get a guy like Lowry, knows Joseph, and yells his name out, and next thing you know, Cujo's listening for his name, and he passed him the puck.
Here's Iginla into the middle, dropped off, wide open shot, and Joseph got a piece as moving in Mickey Dupont all alone in the slot. As the Flames came that close to making it 2-0. And the fans here appreciate the Flames' effort tonight. Although the Red Wings have outshot Calgary 9-8, the Flames lead by 1.
Iginla's going to make a good pass. And I think Maltby got caught late coming from the bench. Here's a little miscommunication right here. And Iginla can't quite get it over Joseph.
Joseph out of the goal again. Bump back there as the scamper back into the goal. Great play through the legs by Woolley to send Maltby on his way with Draper. Maltby right side. Draper to the net. Tipped aside by the stick of Roman Turk. Draper hustling in to get that puck on Jelena. Flames take over the stick of Buzek. Maltby shot tipped by McCarty. Draper rebound. Just couldn't get enough on that puck. It was bouncing, and Turek able to make the stop. And our Taco scouting report tonight, our Taco Bell scouting report, Martin Jelena, who came over as an unrestricted free agent, scored the overtime goal against Toronto to put the Carolina Hurricanes in the Cup final against the Red Wings. Just once in the past 5 years did he score more than 16 goals, and that was a couple of years ago, and the Calgary Flames hoping for more to Martin Jelena this season, and he's got 13 already. And we've got an interference call coming up. And this will go against the Red Wings.
Patrick Boileau is going to get the penalty for interference. Puck goes by him. And now he's not allowing Niedermayer to go to the play. But, you know, it's an interesting... The ice space. And that's, you know, that's one of those calls that at the discretion at the referee.
Number 25, Darren McCarty, 2 minutes for interference time.
Here's Lowry left side. Power play for the Calgary Flames. Cleared down by the Red Wings. Calgary has allowed a league-high 9 shorthanded goals. That's the worst in the league. 2 of the 9 have been scored against them by the Red Wings. Pass came out to center ice. Chris Chelios and Kirk Maltby have both scored shorthanded goals against the Flames. They're on the power play. Conroy around to Iginla up with Rob Niedermeyer. Drury point shot stopped by Joseph. Conroy wheeling across to Drury. Stopped by Joseph again. Back to the line, the shot. Joseph stopped that. Rebound, Bickoff tying up Iginla. Good play. Niedermeyer grabbing it. Back to an open Drury. Sent through softly and just wide of the goal. Backhanded out front and cleared to center.
Well, one of the reasons Calgary has a lot of shorthand goals scored against them is Chris Drury's playing defense. And what happens a lot of times, players will realize that and they'll attack him. 2-on-1, you know, specifically.
Wings with 10 shorthanded goals for still leads the league. Niedermeyer sending one back to the line for Peter Buzak. Held in Dupont. Clark goes down low, point shot. Dupont went wide. Buzak moving in. 15 seconds left in the opening period and the same time remaining in the penalty. Yell waiting. Switches spots. Niedermeyer point. Goes across to the corner. 4 seconds in the period. Buzak out front, and that will do it.
Well, very physical first period by both teams. Calgary wanting to make amends for last game, and they certainly showed they were into it emotionally and have a 1-0 lead.
And Stefan Yell, we hope to get a word with him, along with our man John Keating in our Dodge first intermission. Former Colorado Avalanche player who was a thorn in the Red Wings side for a number of years, and Stefan Yell helped set up Rob Niedermeyer for the only goal of this game, which came at 6:47 of that first period. Shots were 11-9 in the Flames' favor. And one of their 11 was there right there in a tough first period. Shanahan-Bougner, part of that.
Well, maybe it's true that Saturday night's all right for fighting. A game here in Calgary tonight, not for the meek. The Flames on top of the Wings, 1-0 after 1. John Keating back at the Saddle Dome, joined by the veteran defenseman Stefan Yell. Give us a sense as to what your attitude was going into this game tonight against the Stanley Cup champs, having come off the 7-1 loss to Phoenix the other night.
Yeah, no, we we want to keep things simple and play strong defensively in our end, and we believe if we do that, we'll get our chance offensively.
Do you need to get going emotionally? Does this team talk about that? Do you feed off of that?
Yeah, I mean, every game from now on is needs to be emotional. You know, we're in a big battle to get to a playoff spot, and every night is it's key to be emotional.
How much of a measuring stick is a game like Detroit? Is it almost a good thing to be playing the Stanley Cup champs at this point in your season?
Yeah, I mean, coming back from that loss, like you said earlier, it's good for us to to get a good challenge and keep things simple and get a good game.
How differently do you sense the attitude is under Daryl Sutter?
Things are structured, and preparation's a big key, and he reminds us every day, and that's what we're focusing on right now. Because
of your history with the Colorado Avalanche, is playing Detroit still a little special even after all these years?
Yeah, I mean, they've been a great contender for so many years, and like you said, if go out there and engage yourself and play hard.
Stefan, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Stefan Yell, he and the Flames up on the Wings, 1-0 after 1. Up next for you, it's a Detroit Sports Update. Kerry Sayers standing by with that for you when we continue on Fox Sports Net in a moment.
This is your Detroit Sports Update from the Fox Sports News Desk.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Detroit Sports Report Intermission Update. I'm Kerry Sayers. The second period is on the way, but first, let's take a look at some of the stories making news locally. Well, Michigan destroyed the Spartans in their annual battle on the gridiron this season. Now, imagine that happening every year, and the rivalry would probably lose a little of its luster. Unfortunately, though, that's exactly what happened in basketball, except in MSU's favor. The Spartans have an 8-game winning streak against their rivals from Ann Arbor, and those games have routinely been decided in the first half. But does that provide motivation coming into this one? Depends on which side you ask.
This is one of those games where you don't have to worry about anything. It's one of the games where you don't necessarily want your mom and dad to come and watch because you know it's going to be ugly, it's going to be physical, and you're going to do whatever it takes to win.
It don't matter how much whoever beat up on who on the past is now who's ready to play at that given night. And that's what we're learning right now as a team is we got to stay focused at that night we are playing.
Meanwhile, Perry Watson and his Titans looking to climb to the 500 mark in conference play against Cleveland State. How about Willie Green throwing it down with authority? And he wasn't done. Green spotting up and nailing one from the outside, and UDM was up 29-22 at the break. They would end this game in a hurry, though, in the second, thanks to, guess who? None other than Green, hitting another one from long distance. He had 4 triples in this game, and then Elijah Warren nailing one of his own from the corner, and the route is on. Look at the Ryvan Koval, and what a nice touch there with the jumper. The Titans moved to 500 in conference play with the 70-51 win. Well, that's it for now. Be sure to join Brad, Adam, and I after the Wings game. Until then, enjoy the rest of the game, everyone.
Ken Daniels along with Pat Verbeek here in the broadcast booth at the Pengrowth Saddledome in Calgary, Alberta. 1-0 Flames, the only goal of that opening period on 11 shots. And Pat, here's a look at it.
Matthew Daniels going to turn the puck over. Stefan Yell, good forecheck, and Niedermeyer gets the puck and he fires it through the legs. Curtis Joseph, and I know Curtis Joseph would like to have that one back.
In the blue zone tonight, the flickering Flames attack, and yes, 30th in the league at just over 2 goals per game. Their power play ranked 28th, and Avery-Iginla, who led the league last year with 52 goals and 96 points, and he was, well, around plus 30, and now he's minus 15. So he leads that team. The Wings have 4 players at plus 35 and not one in the top 25 in scoring for Detroit. So that tells you how Calgary and the number of times they've been shut out, which puts a lot of heat, no pun intended, the Flames and everything else on this guy, Avery-Iginla.
No question about it, especially when you're the league's MVP. It's always tough. He got a new contract, and now this year he gets into a scrap, hurts his hand, and now it's tough for him to be able to bounce back. But he's a battler, and he knows that he has to chip in for the Flames to have a chance to win.
Well, let's say he wasn't officially the league MVP, although the players thought so. But he finished second to Jose Theodore in a very close vote. But you're right, pretty much league MVP last year. But this season, 44 games, only one multi-goal game, and last season, 44 games, 29 goals. It was at the start of the year where just everything was going in. And that's, as you say, Pat, that's confidence.
And you get on a roll and you believe you can score every night.
He was the first Flame since Gary Roberts back in 91-92 to score 50 goals in a season. And Gary Roberts, after double shoulder surgery, will return to the Maple Leafs in the middle of February. Sergei Fedorov got it through to Bikov. Bikov turns in the corner. Shanahan couldn't come up with it. Holmstrom scooped it out front of the goal. Bikov came in from his point position but fanned on it. Lidstrom back to get it. To Bikov in the middle to Sergei Fedorov. Bikov has it. Lead feed out of the reach of Holmstrom. This will go down the ice as Bougner touches, and Brendan Shanahan, who got into it in that first period, and usually a good fight will inspire him to greater heights.
No question. He's a guy that when he gets fired up, I mean, a lot of good things can happen. This team needed an emotional lift to be able to match Calgary's tonight, and one of the things you usually do, you get into a scrap, and that's one of the things he did tonight.
2 assists last night in Vancouver. Goalless in 3, though, is Brendan. Draper moving it across. Waiting for the return feed from Boileau. McCarty was hooked going to the front of the goal. Buzak fanned on it. Peter Buzak turns back to Dupont. Mickey Dupont had his pass attempt knocked down. Johansson to Buzak. The Czech native's long shot deflected wide. And carried by Maltby to center as the Flames change. Boileau to Kuznetsov. Good move away from Niedermeyer. McCarty will help it in, and the Red Wings will change all 5 skaters. DuPont with a lead pass, tipped by John Keating's first intermission guest, Stefan Yell, for icing, and the faceoff will come back into the Calgary zone as we watch for Brett Hull and perhaps goal number 700 here tonight. And Patty had a couple of chances in the first period.
Certainly broke down the right side, didn't get the shot where he quite wanted to. Got that shot, but Turek was equal to the task.
And he's faced Roman Turek a lot in practice during their Dallas days. Datsuk held it in for a moment. Brought to center by Robin Regier. Good young defenseman slips it into Red Wing territory. Joseph out of the net, shot it to the corner. Datsuk recovered. Yell nearly took it away. Bouncing puck, Lidman. Chopped at by Zetterberg, who had a great game last night. Henrik Zetterberg was our McDonald's player of the game. Zetterberg with a good feed ahead. Brought to center by Woolley. Streaking far side. Danino will go down there to get it. Turek broke his stick. Well, they don't make them like they used to, I guess.
When your stick's as long as his and you push on it, that shaft's really flexible. Not a lot to hold that big blade back.
Clark busting in. Tried to play it past Danino, couldn't complete it. Robitaille. Tipped by Shanahan to Fedorov. Dropping for Shanahan, quick shot. Turek still without a stick. Will hang on. Face-off coming up to the right of Roman Turek, who signed a 4-year deal last year for $19 million as he surrendered unrestricted free agency. In the last 10 games, he's been 5-5, and Craig Button, the GM here, had Roman with Dallas.
Yes, certainly, and he's the next teammate of mine, and on the way to the Stanley Cup, he was crucial in, especially with Ed Belfour being hurt a little ways along during the season. He chipped in and made some great contributions to the team.
First goalie to win back-to-back Jennings trophies with 2 different teams, Dallas and St. Louis. The lowest team goals against. And that'll be icing. The face-off will come back into Detroit territory. Stop by the official Red Wing store, Hockeytown Authentics, to get all your Red Wing merchandise needs. Hockeytown Authentics open 7 days a week on the corner of Big Beaver and John R. in Troy. Jerseys, autographed merchandise, bobbleheads, and more at Hockeytown Authentics, your official Red Wing store. Off the draw. Back to the line, DuPont. Pickoff got it ahead to McCarty. Pickoff takes it. Maltby tipped it. Quick on it is Draper. Played it in. Buzek checking him. Johansson put it around to the corner. Gelinas. Danino moved up. Martin Gelinas turning with it. Gelinas hitting the Red Wing line. Joseph out of the goal. Drury in there to knock it down. That hit Johansson. Drury got it back to Gelinas. The shot. Scores! Joseph never saw it. And Martin Gelinas has made it 2-0.
Wow, this was just a great shift by Gelinas the whole time. He showed a lot of composure in his own end and carried the puck all the way up the ice. And Drury finds him in the slot. As Gelinas was moving to Curtis Joseph's right, he never was able to pick him up with all the bodies in front and fired a shot and hit him in the arm.
Never saw it, and that is 500th career point, and Chris Drury immediately went into the goal to retrieve the puck for Martin Gelinas. So it is 2-0. Up for Avery, that was too far, no icing. Lidman back in the corner, stolen by Devereaux to the goal. Turek stopped it, couldn't find it, but it was in his equipment, able to hang on. Gelinas scoring from Drury and Johansson at 3:30 of the second period, his 14th of the year and 500th career point for Martin Gelinas. And here's another look.
Good heads-up play by Drury. But he was moving, constantly moving, and Curtis Joseph wasn't able to pick him up through all the bodies, and he got the shot on net, and good things happen.
December 2000, a couple of seasons ago, Martin Gelinas cleared waivers, and it was a wake-up call for him. Remember, this is a guy who back in Vancouver in 96-97 scored 35 goals and 68 points. And twice scored 30 or more, so it would have been a wake-up call when you clear waivers. And it has been just that. Boileau, Yell blocked it. Datsuk carries to center. Over to Hall, back for Datsuk. Tried to go back for Hall. It was cleared to center. Boileau with a lead pass. Datsuk to Zetterberg, couldn't handle it cleanly. Kuznetsov got it through. Hall in on goal. Back to Zetterberg. The shot went wide. Moving up is Boileau. Boileau put it through off the skate of Zetterberg and wide. Clark, pair of 17s as Hall bumped him. Niedermeyer found an opening. Icing waved off. Kuznetsov sets up. Danino telling him to hang on. Fedorov couldn't corral it. Avery-Iginla busting in left side. Put right back into the middle by Kuznetsov. Turned out to be a good play, though. Fedorov.
Dangerous, but a very good play.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a behind the back pass up the middle. And boy, those can go the wrong way on you in a hurry if you make a mistake. And Fedorov was in good position to receive the pass, and Kuznetsov put it right on his tape.
Fedorov revealed after the morning skate yesterday that he suffered a left-hand sprain December 21st against the Rangers when he said he took a face-off against Bobby Holik, and he said his right hand is bruised from vibrations in his stick. And I guess, Pat, that can happen with the one-piece sticks, right?
Certainly. The old wood sticks used to take up a lot of vibration, and the new composite sticks, one pieces, don't.
And offside at the line. So we'll get another face-off coming up. And so many of the players are using the one-piece sticks today for increased velocity. The puck handling isn't quite as good, but you shoot a lot harder.
That vibration actually hurts in your hands, and it's actually painful.
Sergei Fedorov, on that stick that he just has a black strip of tape. It's not like the whole blade is tape, it's a black strip along the blade of the stick. Probably doesn't help with the vibrations any, but
the reason why he does that, so ice doesn't build up on his tape for puck handling.
Conroy dropped it off. Regier, Conroy, rebound! And Joseph with Iginla crashing the crease will hang on. Shanahan holding up Lowry.
Calgary showing a lot of grit. They're really driving hard to the net tonight and trying to make life for Curtis Joseph very miserable. Just a quick shot on net by Regier. Hard to the net by Conroy, and Lowry's in there trying to pick up the garbage.
Off the draw, Johansson got it to Buzek. Woolley will help it around. Maltby tried to tip it out of the zone. Turning Gelinas. Drury went over to get a new stick. His was broken. McCarty went down, gathers his stick. Flames, meanwhile, keep control. Drury in behind to get it. Hit that stick, got in the way. McCarty bumps with Drury. Then Bikoff took him. Good work by Drury. Bikoff sealing him back there. Drury still kicking it along. Drury out front of the goal and just in behind. Feed up the middle, slowed up by Gelinas. Guy Dupont took over, then lost it. Maltby, backhand, stopped by Turek. Point shot, Boileau, stopped by Turek. Robitaille, in behind the goal. Robitaille hit to the ice by Buzek. Draper to the line, Kuznetsov. And an interference call here. We've got a penalty coming up. We'll be back. Luke Robitaille in the box for interference.
Yeah, he was upset that he got belted from behind along the boards and took exception to Buzak in front of the net trying to get position. That play right there with his head banging off the glass upset him.
Settling to Detroit's number 20, Luke Robitaille.
Calgary power play into the Red Wing zone. Conroy got it back to the line to Lidman. Firing one, stopped by Joseph. Rebound clear, Joseph all tangled up in the crease. Turek coming out of the net, Fedorov pressuring. Chris Drury. Drury trying to get his way in. Back to the line, Lidman. Conroy. Across for Iginla. He lost an edge and went down. Lidstrom carries in with Shanahan to the goal. There it is. Oh, and a big stop by Turek as Shanahan redirected but didn't try to bury it. Red Wings nearly had their league-leading 11th shorthanded goal. DuPont. Buzak plays it through. Iginla. Put it behind the net and goes to the front of the goal. DuPont. His shot. Iginla on the tip. Iginla's got it again out front. And through the skates of Shanahan back down. DuPont. To Peter Buzak. Niedermeyer, Clark and Yell up for Calgary. Yell knocked it down. Kuznetsov played it to the line, not out. DuPont held it into Yell, into the middle. Turnaround shot, and just wide by Chris Clark. Buzak held it into Niedermeyer. Taken hard in by Danino. 15 to go in the Calgary power play. DuPont right point. Gauthier the shot, and that stopped. And just out of Maltby's reaching out the center. DuPont sent it back in as the Red Wings. Robitaille comes out of the penalty box. Red Wings back at full strength.
That was a big kill for Detroit. Allows a 2-goal game, which is totally capable for them to come back in.
Zetterberg out with Hull and Datsuk as Calgary 0 for 2 on the power play with 6 shots, 3 on that last power play try. And outshot Detroit 17-14. Hull just sent it wide of the goal. Woolley put it in behind the net. Bejan, Datsuk blocked it. Point shot, Boileau, stopped by Turek right over top of the goal, and Gauthier played it away. Datsuk gobbles it up to Hull, shot, oh, and it's stopped by Turek. On a great one-timer from Brett Hull.
Wow.
In a bid for his 700th. Iginla blocked the Woolley attempt, and it's past Devereaux into center ice. Here's Jarome Iginla right side and offside. At the Red Wing line of the Calgary Flames. 8 seconds past the halfway point of this game. Flames lead by 2. Brett Hull nearly narrowed in on a milestone marker. Ken Daniels and Pat Verbeek with you from the Ed Whalen broadcast booth here in Calgary. Iginla behind the net. Still with it. Gave it off to Conroy for Lowry. Back to Iginla. Turning to try and get away from Fedorov, who stays with him. Big question here in Calgary, as we spoke with Craig Button in our pregame, will Jarome Iginla be moved prior to the March 11th trade deadline this year? Fedorov in. And they'll make $7.5 million next year, and that's the big question. What can they get for him, and can they afford to keep him? As Roman Turek hangs on to it, and he hasn't lived up to expectations this year, but he's been coming on lately. And Craig Button, it wouldn't be his first choice to move him, but if some team wanted a guy who can lift you in the playoffs like that guy Jarome Iginla can, and can afford him next year, and they can get some young players back, and that's what they need, young players, inexpensive players to try and build here in Calgary. I don't think it would be out of the question for the Flames to move him. They wouldn't want to because it would be a setback for the fans, but if they had to, they would.
Well, he's not exactly an old player.
No, he's not, by any means. Jarome Iginla, born in '77. down to money issues. Drury. Chris Drury, who they're working on his neck over at the bench, seemed to stiffen up a bit. Fed ahead for Devereaux. Devereaux hitting the line and fanned on his shot. And Kuznetsov back to get it. Robitaille will go after it. Avery, Robitaille, and Devereaux. Avery's got it back to the line. Danilo, a shot. Turk stopped it. Oh, and Robitaille was right there looking for the rebound. Robitaille got it to Avery. Pair of 42s in there. Dupont holding up Avery. Avery, good job. From his knees to Devereaux, and a penalty coming up here to Calgary. And sure enough, Sean Avery helps draw a holding call, and the Red Wings are going to go to a Bell Tire power play.
Key Sean Avery, key play he made on that play was he kept his feet going. He never stopped them. And one of the things referees really look at is that you keep your feet going. Once you stop skating and the guy's holding you, it gives them a reason not to call, but he kept his feet going and drew the penalty.
So the Red Wings get a power play try for the first time. Power play that was 2 for 4 against Edmonton and 1 for 3 at Vancouver last night. Now 6th best in the league. Starting to climb a little bit in that regard. Datsuk with Zetterberg and Hall in after it. Hall's got it. Slapped it around hard. Intended for Datsuk. He has it. Good wheel around in behind Zetterberg. Looks back to the line and finds Woolley to Lidstrom. Back for Woolley. Lidstrom to Woolley. The shot is high and over top of the goal. And fired down the ice.
Detroit didn't have anybody in front of the net. They're going to need to get somebody in front of the net the way Turk's playing tonight.
Lidstrom. Drop pass to Fedorov. Robitaille and Hall with him. And offside, Luc Robitaille on the right wing. As that was fired in and Randy Mitten caught it. So we'll get a face-off coming up center ice area.
Special thanks goes out to the following sponsors who have purchased.
As the Red Wings have a minute 2 left in their power play try. And that almost took off Brett Hall's helmet on that shot. Shanahan in behind for Holmstrom. Holmstrom back of the goal. In turn, Shanahan into the middle. Lidstrom played it back to the corner. Robitaille looking for his first in 18 tonight. Shanahan back to the line. Fedorov for Shanahan. Fedorov creates open ice. Shanahan goes that way. Fedorov fires, and it was tipped over top of the goal. Holmstrom may have got a piece of that. Shanahan got it to Fedorov. In for Shanahan. They'll try the same thing. Shanahan goes back to Fedorov again. Across Lidstrom, shoots, and Turek with the right hand hangs on.
Roman Turek seeing everything tonight.
Does that tell you not enough crowd in front of the net, though?
Sometimes they get in the zone. You got to give the goaltender credit. I mean, there's a lot of traffic in front of him right now, and there was actually Regier did a good job of blocking out Holmstrom, maybe to give him a good lane to see the puck.
Dandenong for McCarty out there with Draper and Maltby. The final moments of the Bell Tire power play. Draper moves in. Dandenong shooting, scores! Matthew Dandenong on a great feed from Draper. A power play goal, and it's 2-1. Red Wings get on the board.
A big goal for Detroit. Dandenong moves in when he realizes there isn't anybody in his guarding him, and Draper gives him a good pass right where you want to. And guess what happened? There was traffic in front of the net by McCarty, and Turek wasn't able to pick it up.
He never saw that for sure. He only saw Darren McCarty's red pants. So his second goal, a power play goal. So the Red Wings have hit for a power play goal now, 3 consecutive games, and they're on the board. Bikoff. He'll send it in. Turek will stop it back there.
for the goal, 13:52.
And the Red Wings on their first power play try, and that's what we told you in our Pepsi game plan tonight. Daryl Sutter said no penalties against Detroit. Certainly not bad ones. And he thought it may come back to haunt, and it hit on the first try. Danino from Draper and Maltby at 13:52. Time of the power play goal as the Red Wings trail by 1. We'll be back in a moment to Calgary. Face-off coming up to the left of Curtis Joseph. The Detroit Sports Report will come up right after the game tonight. So keep it tuned right here for all the news in the world of sports. Regier couldn't hold it in. Lidman to Yell. Clark back for Lidman. To Chris Clark. Bennett threw into the zone. Yell in front of the net. Oh, hit the crossbar, Niedermayer. Oh, off the crossbar, and how did he get so open? A great feed as Clark and Yell worked it through to an open Rob Niedermayer, the brother of Scott Niedermayer of the Devils. And hit the pike. Datsuk, Zetterberg. Zetterberg circling the goal. Zetterberg still on it. The shot, rebound. Woolley moved in and just fanned on that puck. Zetterberg with it again. Woolley had moved in, couldn't get back there. He'll have to hustle back to beat Clark to it. Jason Woolley cleared back into the Flame zone, and this will be icing. As Curtis Joseph's best pal of the night just bailed him out.
Yeah, you're going to see Niedermayer come down and put it right off the crossbar, right at the corner. And he beat his check down. He's got a lot of speed. Great skating ability. Clank.
That brought 18,028, a sellout crowd here. The Saddledome in Calgary to their feet, but it stayed out. Drury will backhand it in. Jelinan, Johansson with him. Johansson tied up out front by Kuznetsov. Johansson now has it behind the goal. Kuznetsov tying up Drury now. Bouncing puck. Loose. Jelinan. Kuznetsov with that long reach prevented it from going across to Chris Drury. And Holmstrom clears it into the Red Wing bench. And we'll get a face-off coming up. Good defensive play by Max Kuznetsov. We mentioned last night. Injured his arm, but okay to go tonight. He got jammed in along the boards last evening early on in Vancouver. Stiffened up, but seemed to be better today. With treatment from Russ Bauman and Pete Van Zandt, the Red Wings trainers. DuPont to the line. Lidstrom held it in toward the goal, and McCarty just missed on a tip. Lowry over. Bikoff moved down low. Buzek turning away from McCarty. Knocked him down. Grabbed a piece of him. And it's underneath. There will be a face-off coming up. Worked out all right as the face-off will stay in the Calgary zone. A reminder, as we mentioned, coming up after the game tonight, the Detroit Sports Report comes your way on Fox Sports Net. Among the stories you'll see, sweeping the Lone Star State. Big game again, MSU at U of M, men's basketball tomorrow. A game that finally means something, and a Super Bowl preview. Speaking of big games, all that and more on the Detroit Sports Report right after the game, and more from this one here in Calgary. Kuznetsov tying up Scott Nickel. Blake Sloan in there along with Nickel. Scott Nickel and Maltby come together. Penalty coming up here as Boileau was held up trying to get that to that puck. And we'll see if anything evens out here, but that is original Calgary penalty, I believe. Nickel and Maltby have words. Scott Nickel, who scored his first NHL goal at the Joe last season against Dominik Hasek. No, Maltby gave him a shove, but I wonder if Scott Nickel didn't try to help that along.
There's no question that was a dive.
Well, and that wasn't
now
called.
Sloan's going to get a penalty here for hanging on to Boileau's stick. And that's why he's in the box.
That's the only call. So Blake Sloan is in. We mentioned the former Wolverine, Blake Sloan. And Daryl Sutter with that shiner from the puck the other night. Bell Tire power play. Red Wings scored in their first try from Matthew Dandeneau from Draper and Maltby to make it 2-1. Now look to get even. Shanahan, Lidstrom, Fedorov, Holmstrom, and Robitaille. Oh, Robitaille just missed a heavy hit. Lidstrom. Cross for Sergei Fedorov. Firing one, rebound, Shanahan. Oh, stopped by Turk again. Brendan Shanahan robbed twice tonight by Roman Turk.
Shanahan shaking his head a little bit, like to have a second chance at that one. Holston in front of the net. They're finally getting traffic in front of Turek. And what happens now, he's not so confident to be able to handle the puck, and rebounds are starting to squirt out. Shanahan took a perfect angle to the net, and the puck kind of rolled on him just as he went to shoot it.
Niedermeyer fired one off the crossbar. Went in for Nickel. Lidstrom. Lead pass Shanahan. Sending it deep, deadens on the inboards. Fedorov tied up his man, Robitaille to Holmstrom, and it never got to him. Was tipped away just as he went to shoot. Shanahan forward playing defense. Niedermeyer. Lidstrom takes him to the inboards. Holmstrom digs that puck free. Thomas Holmstrom, who scored his 11th goal of the season last night, gave it up there to number 11, Yell. Joseph has it. He didn't want to face off, but Red Wings had to regroup with 54 seconds left in the penalty. And this is a pretty good line that's been together for the past little while, and especially last night against Vancouver.
Well, Holmstrom was a catalyst last night for that line with his work ethic, his grit along the boards, and Shanahan and Fedorov did a lot of depositing into the net, and they really worked well. They had great chemistry last night.
Lidstrom to Datsuk with Holland Zetterberg. Zetterberg left side. Pass Bougner. Zetterberg carries on. Back to the line. Good feed, Lidstrom. Down low. Zetterberg's got it. They close off Hull. Woolley. Zetterberg. Hull. Shoots it. Stopped by Turek. Stick loose. Calgary regains. Zetterberg. Datsuk. Out front for Hull. He just missed it. On his backhand. Lidstrom. Tip behind the goal. Zetterberg.
There's 1 minute remaining.
Datsuk. Less than a minute to go in the second. Hull, a shot. Stopped by Roman Turek. And it pinballs out to center ice.
The two kids are really looking for Hull tonight. They're really trying to find him that 700th goal tonight.
Lead feed Zetterberg. And kicked away by Bougner as the Flames are back at full strength. That hit Iginla on the way out of the zone. Brought in across the line by Conroy. Here's a shot. Joseph to the line. No, it didn't go in. No, it did not go in. On the line, they'll take a look. But Don Koharski was right there saying no. And we'll get a face-off coming up.
Well,
He's going to go upstairs.
I was going to say they have to check that one out.
Well, we'll see if that loud horn here was a little premature.
A one-timer to Iginla, and it had a lot of spin on it, and boy, oh boy, that's close.
The whole puck must be over the line. There must be white between the puck and the goal line.
No question.
Is there?
We can't tell from that angle.
And it has to be definitive. Let's see
this
from
one.
up top.
This one, I'll tell you. Here it comes, Ray.
Yes. They've said it's a goal. It is 3-1 Calgary with 29 seconds left. 30 seconds left in the period.
One more look, and man, that is tough to tell. A stick and everything. I don't know. I don't think that thing is in all the way.
It wasn't definitive to me by those looks. Maybe to you at home it was or wasn't. Won't be the shot blocked. Well, they have the looks we had, and obviously got the one a little bit more quickly just to see. But Iginla gets credit from Conroy and Bougner at 19:30. As Calgary is again a 2-goal lead.
I still think there was a half a puck not over the line.
Well, if not half, maybe a quarter. But Iginla gets credit for it. His 15th of the season, and we said he's been on a roll of late. That's his 6th goal now, his past dozen games. And his 14th point is past 12. We'll speak with Barry Smith, get his thoughts. Now, he won't have seen a look at that, but we'll get his thoughts coming up in our second intermission as the Flames get a goal with 30 seconds to go in the period to lead again by 2 after the Red Wings had narrowed it on the power play. This one slips through the pads for the second time tonight of Curtis Joseph. Is it over the line? They said so here. 3-1 Calgary. Ken Daniels, Pat Verbeek back here in Calgary. 3-1 Flames, a goal that we're still not sure went in with 30 seconds to go. Barry Smith, let's get your thoughts. That has to be a heartbreaker.
Yeah, I haven't taken a look at it. I saw the quick replay here, so it was an untimely goal for us because we came on real well the last 10 minutes of that period, and we started to carry the play. So what can we do? It's a goal. They called a goal. We have to go out and play the third period.
What do you guys got to do to get back in this game for the third period?
Well, I liked our intensity there, Patrick. Pat, I liked our intensity in the last half of that period. I thought we took the boards away. We had some good down-low plays. We started taking the play to them. I think the first period we played a little bit cautious, played last night, a little bit tired, you know, and the shifts were long. So we have to get back at this third period early. Can't wait for the last 10 minutes.
One of the things last night, you had a great defensive effort. Can you guys keep building on that from last night?
Yeah, you know, I think our third period was our best period last night as well. And, you know, we had the game tied up against us 2-2 early in the third and came back and scored the next 3 goals. So hopefully we can do the same situation tonight. You know, we had some chances. We had to keep creating them and just keep moving the puck quickly.
All right, Barry, thanks for doing this.
Thanks, guys.
Barry Smith, Red Wings associate coach, joining us. After 2 periods of play, it's the Flames leading the Red Wings by 2.
Welcome back to Calgary, where after 2 periods, Calgary leads the Detroit Red Wings 3-1. In a spirited game tonight, we're going to look at all the goals. Matthew Danino's going to turn the puck over, and Niedermayer's going to let a shot go through, and Curtis Joseph would surely like to have that one back. Niedermayer, his 5th of the season from Stefan Yell. Second period. Martin Gelinas going to get Calgary ahead by 2. Drury makes a nice pass to Gelinas. Johansson getting the second assist. Calgary now leads 2-0. Detroit chips away. Matthew Danino gets it back to make it 2-1. McCarty in front of the net for a great screen on that goal. Chris Draper and Kirk Maltby getting the assist, as well as it being a power play goal. Calgary's going to get a controversial goal, which I think is still not in. The referee says it's no goal. He had a great bird's eye view of this, and as we look at the monitor, the whole puck has to be over, and there still looks like there's an 1/8 of an inch there, but it counted, and after 2, the Red Wings are down by 2. Calgary winning 3-1. We'll be back after this.
Detroit Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Labatt Blue Light, Blue Sky, Sunlight, Blue Light. Ken Daniels, Pat Verbeek back with you from the Pengrowth Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta, where the Flames lead by 2. Our GMC stats after 2 periods of play. The Red Wings have outshot the Flames and outchanced them by a couple.
It's been a hotly contested hockey game. It's been very physical. It's been very emotional. Calgary, after the drubbing, wanted to really come out right from the onset of the game and play very physical and with a lot of emotion, and they've done that.
Calgary got waxed here 2 nights ago. They were embarrassed 7-1 by the Phoenix Coyotes. And who's your pick at that number? You may have dialed already for our McDonald's Player of the Game. If your guess is the first to match our selection, you win $25 in McDonald's gift certificates, great Fox Sportsnet apparel, and you're entered in a drawing for 2 Red Wing playoff tickets. And we'll give you the winner of our McDonald's Player of the Game at the end of this game and find out which of you got in first tonight, if you are correct, during our pregame show from New Jersey at 7 o'clock. And Brett Hull's had a number of chances in this game so far tonight. He's had 5 shots on goal, and that leads all in this game.
Well, Datsuk and Zetterberg have been looking for him all over the place tonight, and he's been finding holes to get great shots off. Made a great save on that play, and here he is again. Great toe save. The kids, I'm very impressed. They know he wants to get 700, and they've been looking for him unselfishly all night.
2 shots in the first, 3 in the second against his former teammate Roman Turek. And Turek stopped him each time. Dandino with the only goal for the Red Wings came in a power play to erase what was a 2-0 deficit for Dave Lewis's club, but then Jerome Iginla scored with 30 seconds left to again give the Flames a lead by 2. Calgary, who's missed the playoffs for 6 consecutive years, on the verge of making it 7, unless they can get a miracle out of the end of this season. But so far back now, with so many teams to pass. Holmstrom. They missed the playoffs by 13 points last year. They started the year, Calgary did, with just 2 losses their first 21 games. They were off to an amazing start. When the man who comes out and plays the puck now, Roman Turek, was so hot. They haven't got goaltending like that this season, and that's why the Flames have struggled, and Jerome Iginla hasn't come on like a year ago. And now they're so far out of it, it would, as we say, need a miracle to get into the hunt. But tonight, lead by 2 over Detroit.
One of the things with Iginla, I mean, it's been easy to focus in on him this year. Being one of the top players in the league, they key on you a lot more.
You don't get the opportunities once through the league, and they know what you can do. And up against the opposition's best. That's why his plus-minus has fallen off as well. Kuznetsov got it across. Lead pass by Boileau. Hall out there. Regier turning. Zetterberg, Hall and Datsuk. Pile in there. Zetterberg poked it free to Hall. Hall back of the goal. Send it out front. To the line. Boileau's shot is blocked. Racing away comes Niedermayer, left wing side. Niedermayer, face-off circle, the shot, and a good stop. Out 5 feet in front of the blue to challenge was Curtis Joseph.
Niedermayer's got a lot of speed, and he's certainly using it tonight. And one of the things what always happens, you get a goal early in the game like he did, it raises your confidence, it raises your energy. And a lot of times you can watch guys who score early in the game have great games because they're excited about playing the rest of the game.
He came over from Florida with a second rounder for Valerie Bure and Jason Weimer. And a former 5th overall pick in '93 of the Panthers, and really has never lived up to that. Devereaux to Avery. Peter Buzek off the glass and down the ice, and the faceoff will come back into Calgary territory as the Red Wings are back to touch. And we mentioned the great beginning to last season for Calgary. This season, just the opposite, and that's why they're out of it pretty much already. From November through early December, 1-10, outscored badly, blanked 3 times. And since that time, 500.
Yeah, it's been a good stretch. You know, one of the things you mentioned, Iginla's plus-minus, what happens when pucks don't start going in for you is you start cheating offensively. You start taking chances, and now what happens, your defensive end starts to suffer, and consequently, the minuses start adding up in a hurry.
Right after that bad stretch, December 3rd, Greg Gilbert was fired. Wooley's shot is stopped, and that's when Daryl Sutter took over, and Calgary 6-5-2 under Daryl Sutter. Lowry with Iginla and Conroy. Conroy squeezed by Lidstrom. Iginla in there with him. They battle in the corner. Lowry over to help. Fedorov took it away, then lost control. Danino off a leg to the line, held in by Gauthier. Iginla looks to Conroy. The shot. Joseph was down, but it went wide. The Red Wings could not get that puck out, and with that, the Flames have it down low again. This time, Fedorov has it. Lidstrom joining the rush. Holmstrom goes to the bench for a change. Shanahan right wing side. Turek punched it to the corner to Iginla. Off the boards and back into the Red Wing zone. Lidstrom will have to hurry, chased by Nickel. Lidstrom played it around. Goes and gets it. Tied up by Scott Nickel. Nickel out there with Bejan and Sloan. McCarty, Draper, and Maltby for the Red Wings. Bejan digs the puck free. Draper's got him. Steve Bejan kicking at it. To the other side, Tony Littman over to get it. And it's cleared back into the Calgary zone. Hustling Sloan, Draper on him. Bejan met by McCarty, and he's bumped. Red Wings changing. Boileau knocks it down. Now the Flames use the opportunity to change. That hit a Calgary player, Sloan, going to the bench. Play continues. Niedermeyer up with Yell. Yell the shot. Joseph the stop, and he'll hang on. A reminder to get your tickets to the 4th annual Toast of Hockeytown wine tasting, February 25th at the fabulous Fox Theater. Join the entire Red Wings team for this elegant evening. Benefits the family funds of Vladimir Konstantinov and Sergei Manatsakhanov. And for more information, you can call 313-396-7575. Gauthier shot knocked down. Kuznetsov rebounds. Clark hustled in there to get it. With help from Yell. Datsuk bumps Yell. Rob Niedermeyer put it behind the net. Kuznetsov couldn't come up with it. Came right back to him. Oh boy, those boards have some strange bounces. Knocked down at the Calgary line. Hall knocked it down. Woolley flipped it back for Brett Hall. Dennis Gauthier. Off Dandenong. Puck came free, knocked down. Woolley can't find it. Drury trying to get through. Woolley just bumped him enough. A call that would have been made for obstruction back in October. Cleared to center. That went over the stick of Littman. Turek out to play it. Lead pass to Regier. Into Red Wing territory. Bouncing puck. Joseph takes no chances with it. And he will just hang on. Face-off coming up in the Red Wing zone. 4:58 gone in the third.
Calgary's doing a good job. Joseph's having a hard time finding the puck on a lot of plays tonight, and the reason why, someone's always in front of the net, and they're generating a lot of chances off the cycle, and they're having traffic, and it's making it very difficult for him to pick up pucks. And what we see at the line out now with Conroy, Lowry, and Iginla, you can look for Lowry always to be in front of the net on that line.
Conroy got it through to Lowry. Fedorov on Lowry, putting his stick in there, trying to keep him at bay. Then it came into the middle. Lidstrom turning, got it to Holmstrom. Lidstrom, even behind his back, knows where everybody is. Shanahan, that is pass to the goal, blocked. Lidstrom again to Dmitry Bykov. Avery bumping with Sloan. Puck squirted free. Holmstrom will try the other way. Nobody there except a white jersey belonging to Bejan. Bumped off stride. Turning Sloan offside at the Red Wing line. We'll get another stop and play and a face-off coming up. Center ice area from where the puck was shot in.
Well, Louis was very happy with his play of his defenseman last night, and you know, when you have a guy like Chris Chelios out of the lineup, everybody has to step up. And the defensive corps certainly did last night.
DuPont back to pick it up. Buzek. Turned it up the middle. Coming with speed, Johansson. Kuznetsov first back. Turned by Shanahan, got it around to Boileau over his stick though. Half boards, Johansson behind the net, far side. Drury bumps with Avery. Devereaux then has it to Robitaille. Leaves it at center to a speeding Avery up across the line of the goal. Avery in on net. Avery still with that puck. Tried to feed Devereaux, never got through. Cleared by Calgary to safety. Patrick Boileau, formerly the Washington Capitals. Datsuk's shot. It's blocked. And up and out of play. Still 3-1 Calgary leading. Third period. We'll be back in a moment on Fox Sports Net. Well, Brett Hall with 7 goals his past 10 games. In search of one more. Then many more to come, he hopes. Came loose to Datsuk. Turned back and didn't get a shot away. And the Flames able to get it down the ice. Joseph leaving for Woolley. The former Spartan. Last defenseman to lead the Spartans in scoring.
Calgary's just trying to spend as least amount of time as possible in their end. They're just wiring pucks out of the zone, trying to chip it into center ice where they can regain possession.
Datsuk hit hard by Lidman. Conroy's got it for Calgary. Offside if it had gone in. Knocked to center though. Maltby. Good pass in for Hull. Hull in the left wing waiting. Tied up by 2 Flames and cleared. Lidstrom dropped off to Draper, now to Bikoff. In it goes McCarty hustling down. In behind along with Draper. Iginla into the middle and a good play, and with that Calgary will bring it to center. Regeer back for Jerome Iginla. He's got one tonight. Puck loose and Lowry couldn't find it as it was in the slot area, and that'll be called offside again. 5-4, 3-2-1 is the only daily show taking you inside the world of extreme sports with breaking news, event highlights, and insider features. The hosts are BMX rider Kip Williamson, surfer Chad Towersey, and Leanne Tweeden. It's 5-4, 3-2-1, premiering Monday at 5 here on Fox Sports Net. Bougner couldn't hold it in, and that'll be offside, and they will call it intentional offside. It'll come all the way down the ice. You mentioned when the Flames, if they're out of it at the deadline, will they look to trade Bob Bougner? A lot of teams will be looking for this guy, and he's now in his 8th season, his 2nd with Calgary, a former Red Wing 2nd round draft pick back in '89. You played against him, Pat.
Yeah, he's a guy that plays very physical. He's in your face all night long and makes it very difficult for scorers.
Never played with Detroit, played with Adirondack. His 3 kids are American, but he wanted the Canadian school system, and that's why he came over as an unrestricted free agent to Calgary. He hails from Windsor. Shanahan up the middle. Fedorov into the zone. He's held up trying to get away from the check, can't do it. In behind the net, Robitaille had it knocked away, and Scott Nickel over to get it. Danino hustling, he'll pick it up. Just under 11 to go here in the 3rd. Red Wings down by a couple. Danino has the only goal on the power play, is tied up by Desjardins. Sloan to the net, stopped by Joseph. Loose puck. They were whacking away at it, but Curtis Joseph is able to hang on. And Scott Nickel had an extra whack in there.
Wow, this is a hard-working line for Calgary. And they're not going to be pretty when they make plays. They're just going to make the simple ones, and this is a simple one, just getting the puck toward the net and having traffic and having guys go for rebounds. And there you see Nickel arriving when the puck's being there. And Beijing chased Danino all the way to make this puck into a turnover.
Devereaux, Avery, and Robitaille. Stefan Yell. He'll lift one into Red Wing territory. Lidstrom to the corner. Yell there first, hit by Bickhoff. Robitaille has it. The head for Avery. Rink wide feed. Lidstrom back for Avery, and it's just tipped out of his reach before he could get there. Left it behind the goal. Devereaux battling Dupont. Robitaille in to get it. Robitaille looks out front. Bickhoff's there. Puck hit Turek. Robitaille blocked it. Slipped it back to Bickhoff. Bickhoff toward the net. Off to the corner. Avery first on it. Devereaux put it back into the corner. Avery back door out front of the net. Puck is loose as he tried the wraparound, and Avery just denied. And ricochets down right to Joseph, though, so no icing. Flames take over. Good move at the line by Iginla. Datsuk trying to stay with the Calgary Flames. Jerome Iginla, their leading scorer. Goalie to center, across for Hall, back to Zetterberg. Loose puck in the corner. Turek to play it away from Hall. Goalie held it in at the line. In for Zetterberg. Hall behind the goal to get it. Brett Hall behind the net. Out front. And Lowry takes it. Hall strong in the back check. Joseph teeing it up for Woolley. Lead feed for Hall. Had to come back to him. Datsuk in a good crowd, able to make that nifty little move. Jason Woolley shoots it in. Gauthier first back. And again, it's back into the Red Wing zone. Flames seem content. Off the boards and down.
Make the simple plays to relieve themselves of pressure from the Detroit Red Wings.
Draper along with Maltby. Icing indicated here, but McCarty got there first to negate it. But again, swept back down the ice. Instead, it'll be icing the other way. Dandenong will be Drury to it. 3-1, Flames leading, 8:16 to go in the third. We'll be back.
Well, over the last 4 or 5 minutes, Calgary's been doing a lot of dump-out plays into the neutral zone, and that can really turn out to backfire because what's happening, they're allowing Detroit to attack without any pressure.
Shanahan back to pick it up. Into the corner, Shanahan. Lidstrom over there to get it. Up for Fedorov. Lidstrom behind the goal for Dandenong. Conroy regroups. Sent in deep by Clark. Joseph left it behind the goal, a little too far for Dandenong. He was off balance, and Clark able to contain down there. Niedermeyer on Fedorov. Now Fedorov got it over the stick of Bougner, and at least moved it out to center. Bougner back in his own zone. Golf shot to center. Datsuk has to wait to get back on side. Hull didn't get it deep. Gauthier. Clark into the Red Wing zone, and Datsuk to Hull. He'll lift a high one in now. Turek out of the net. He'll shoot it around. Kuznetsov moved up. Hull in perfect position to hold in. Bougner and Zetterberg. Johansson in. And again, Calgary just clears it. Bickhoff took a hard hit, then got in front of his man. Bickhoff draped all over Martin-Jelena. Johansson knocked off stride. Kuznetsov to Datsuk. Red Wings want to change, and with that, they keep control.
Calgary's doing a good job stymieing him right now, especially through the neutral zone.
Devereaux, Avery. Devereaux to the corner, hustling after that puck. Sloan tied it up. Devereaux had it come free. Woolley trying to knock it back in, had to wait for it to come down. Woolley's still on it, and now it's cleared away. Bejean and Boileau race for it. And Patrick Boileau got there first. 3-1 Flames continue to lead. Back with more in a moment. Well, out of town tonight, the St. Louis Blues were leading the Dallas Stars and lost this evening. So depending what happens here, they'll remain at least 1 point back of Detroit atop the division, and that's good news for the Red Wings that the Blues fell tonight to Dallas, who may increase their conference lead. More on this around the world of sports on Detroit Sports Report after the game. Pick off tying up Conroy. Iginla. Lidstrom over to meet him. Iginla comes out of the crowd with Lowry in front of the goal. Back door. Iginla. That hit the skate of Avery and went wide. Conroy. Pick off on him, Iginla. Lidstrom strong on Jerome Iginla, and the puck to the corner. And Lidstrom got it ahead to Devereaux. Devereaux left wing side. Big collision as Niedermeyer came over the boards, ran into the linesman Thor Nelson, and with that there's a break for Clarkin on goal. The shot, big stop, Joseph, rebound, and it's cleared. Big save there by Joseph with 5 minutes to go in the period. Flames continue to lead by 2. Woolley stops behind the net. Gets the feed from Boileau, and here's Hull across the line. Hull in the shot. High and off the glass and all the way back.
That was the short side. He likes to go on that side of the ice. Top shelf. That whole Calgary chance happened because Niedermeyer jumped over the boards, took out the linesman, who in turn took out Devereaux, and the puck got turned over.
Here's Shanahan. Joseph able to hang on to the rebound. And time now to bring you our standard Federal check of this game. Craig Conroy on Thomas Holmstrom. Laying the body into him. Good clean hit by Conroy. Our standard Federal check of the game by the Calgary captain. Now in his 8th season, his 3rd with the Flames, 27 goals and 75 points last year. Second on the team to only the league's leading scorer, Jerome Iginla. Drury, Jelena for Drury. Tied up by Lidstrom. Jelena to get it, back to the line, Lidman. The shot went high and over top of the net. Zetterberg to Dandenong. Dandenong with room. As Robitaille ran into Regier. Calgary fans wanted an obstruction call on Robitaille. Robitaille was probably thinking the same thing. Goes to the front of the goal, does Robitaille. Back to the point, Lidstrom fires one. Save made, and the rebound. Knocked down on the play was Robitaille.
They're letting him play.
Datsyuk cleared away. Great right side. Joseph stopped that. Got the left hand on that shot. In there to get it again is Conroy. Puck knocked down, and Joseph, not for this, he says. He'll take the face-off.
Looked like a few opportunities for referees to be able to call a penalty, but they're letting the guys play it out. Tight hockey game, 3-1, 3 minutes to go, so that's what you want as a player.
There's referee Don Koharski with his arm up on the change. The final 2 minutes of the game is when the hurry-up line change or quick face-off isn't in effect. Thor Nelson trying to get out of the way, delayed offside as it came back in off him. And we'll get another face-off coming up, and they've really, for the most part, kept to the quick face-offs, the hurry-up line change. The league prefers it being called upwards of 20 to 23 seconds to drop the puck.
It's really spread the game up quite a bit.
It has, and for the skilled players, it's been a little tougher. You don't get as much break on every face-off to regroup, get that extra breath. Since they play more than most. Long shot in, Turek grabs it. Oh, we'll get another face-off here with 2:32 to go in the 3rd period. Face-off coming up to the left of Roman Turek.
Well, here we are. Jelena's going to make it a 2-0 lead on that goal. Chris Joseph wasn't able to pick it up through the screen. And here's the one we still don't think is in. where everyone at home has to be the judge.
Did the whole puck go over the line? That's the question. Was there white between the puck and the goal line? And tough to say it was definitive. May have been, but it has to be clear cut to overrule the referee, who was right there and was saying no. But it's 3-1. Right now the Red Wings need one more to make that one matter. Although it certainly took the wind out of their sails going to the room.
Especially, I mean, it's a goal that, you know, kills you going, your momentum going into the period. You're only down one and looking to one shot tie you up. It's a different mindset.
Danino got across center, less than 2 to go here in the third period. Icing indicated. And again, this time Jason Woolley back to get it, and he'll play a lot tonight with Woolley and Bickoff once again. And Roman Turek has been outstanding here tonight. The shots are at 28 apiece, but Roman Turek is our choice for McDonald's Player of the Game. And if you were the first to guess Roman, you win $25 in McDonald's gift certificates, great Fox Sportsnet apparel, and a chance at 2 Red Wing playoff tickets. So join us for our next broadcast Tuesday night from New Jersey at 7 to see if you are a winner.
He made some key saves on Hall tonight in the second period.
Woolley pumped it in behind the goal. Holmstrom with Robitaille and Datsuk. And again, this will be another icing. So they'll do it again in the Calgary zone with 1:27 to go and a 3-1 lead. And Daryl Sutter, the black eye and all in that nose, which was not broken but certainly damaged. He's shaking his head now, maybe icing after icing, knows he could come back to haunt him with Curtis Joseph now going to the bench. So I don't think he wants continually icing the puck path.
Not unless you're having a great game at the face-off dot. So with one of the things Detroit's got to do is just start getting pucks at the net, as many as they can, and start crashing the net for rebounds.
So Fedorov, Zetterberg, Holmstrom, Hall, Woolley, Lidstrom, and Shanahan net empty. 6 skaters against 5. Shanahan across for Hall. Hall in front of the goal, but Yell was there to take it. Lidstrom held it in at the line. Bougner first on it, met by Holmstrom. And Clark will clear it to center. Tip to the line and right back out. Zetterberg. Back for Lidstrom. 1 minute left. Red Wing net empty. Onside taken by Hall. Firing one. And deflected up and out of play, and the faceoff will stay inside Calgary territory as Hall let that shot go.
This is where Hall's very dangerous, using a defenseman as a screen, and Bougner was able to get his shin pad on it and deflect it out of harm's way.
Timeout's been called. The Red Wings. Dave Lewis using his timeout with 53.8 seconds left. His club down by 2. And Harvey the Hound staying far away from the coaching staff on the other side of the ice now. Just in case Dave Lewis had any thoughts of ripping his tongue out.
I don't think his tongue can be ripped out anymore.
No,
it's
he's
like
elasticized it now.
It'll go stretch a mile. Well, not quite that far, but it'll stretch a long way.
He's received a lot of publicity, Harvey the Hound. Even the Tonight Show was calling. How about that? The Detroit Sports Report comes your way after the game tonight. 6 skaters against 5. And it's cleared. Lidstrom back to get it. McMagoo getting out of the way. Nicholas Lidstrom to Holmstrom to Shanahan across the line. Tried to feed it in for Hall. And the puck is chipped to center ice again. Lowry moved it through again. Empty net. Sent it wide. Looking for his second of the night. He got the 3rd goal for Calgary. Right now, Jelinow's second goal is the difference. Fedorov couldn't shoot it in. 15 seconds left. Again, the Flames empty net. And they score. Dave Lowry. 4-1. 12 seconds remaining.
Well, that'll do it. Empty net goal. Lowry recently being called up from the minors, has done nothing but produce on this top line, and he gets an empty netter to seal the game.
1948, the time of that goal. Lowry's second. So it is 4-1. And the Red Wings will head to New Jersey coming off a loss after a win last night in Vancouver. So the Calgary Flames bounce back, meeting a Red Wing team, and Curtis Joseph is very upset with this one here tonight. We're not done yet. We're going to take you to the Fox Sportsnet studios. Detroit Sports Report with Brad Adam and Kerry Sayers.
Good evening. This is your Detroit Sports Report.
Our top story, Pistons looking to complete the Texas two-step.
History's about to be written. Just a few short hours to kick off will unlock each team's keys to the big game. Some say tomorrow's biggest games at Chrysler Arena will preview the Michigan State showdown.
It's Super Saturday in the Big Ten. Two of the best teams in the country in action today. We can't wait to go Big Ten ballin'. Hey everybody, thanks for staying up real late to check in on your Detroit Sports Report. I'm Kerry, he's Brad, we're barely awake. A former Spartan from Centerline is about to take permanent residence in Canton, Ohio.
Plus, Marty might be back, but so are the rumors about Mooch coming to Detroit. And where there's smoke, there's usually fire.